The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
After the halving, we produced 112 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was like $60,000 average. Now it's $120,000, but we produced 267 Bitcoin. So not only are we blessed with the ability to expand our production, Bitcoin prices doubled, and that's really positioned us that today we're doing over $1 million in revenue a day, and we're 2% of the global Bitcoin network.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Frank Holmes. He is the executive chair of HIVE Digital Technologies. And Frank, it's good to have you back again. How are you?
I'm feeling fantastic today. I see that the press release really excited investors.
Yeah, well, you're talking about your September numbers from 2025. And again, Frank shows just the power of the Bitcoin mining. It continues to be strong.
I think what's really important is that Hive is a turbocharged dual engine data center business. And it's not just a Bitcoin mining and building out those data centers, it is also HPC and building out sovereign data centers in Canada. So I think those two engines are all of a sudden saying, wow, let's look at a data center that's it trades at 20 times EBITDA, and here's Hive trading at 5 times EBITDA. I think we're going through that re-rating, and we've on a regular basis, every time we've hit an exahash, we've commented on it because it's material increase now of almost 20 million in revenue a year. And so we still have much more exahash to build in the next 3 months.
Yeah, 130% increase year over year compared to Bitcoin operations in September of 2024. It seems that part of the business that you talked about, the split of the two parts, seems to be just continuing to be very, very strong.
Yeah, and I'm just very thank you for that. But like the data points are a year ago, after the halving, we produced 112 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was like $60,000 average. Now it's $120,000, but we produced 267 Bitcoin. So not only are we blessed with the ability to expand our production, Bitcoin prices doubled, and that's really positioned us that today we're doing over $1 million in revenue a day, and we're 2% of the global Bitcoin network.
Yeah. Frank, talk to me a little bit about the work that's going on as far as Venezuela is concerned, because I know that you talked in the news release about the work that's going on there to do the build out.
Well, as fast as machines are coming in from Asia and equipment and plugins, etc., all the wires you need, we plug them in. But what's really interesting for me, for listeners, is that it takes 6 hours to get a machine and unwrap it and plug it in when it's Bitcoin mining. But when it's high performance computing for AI and those NVIDIA chips arrive, it's 6 weeks to rebuild because you're building a brain. So it's just important that the differences are much more complex, and the revenue model is still very robust for both.
Yeah. And lastly, Frank, I want to ask you about, you mentioned that all the work of putting those machines together and getting the operation centers up as you are, but it still continues to be renewable hydroelectric energy is really at the heart of this story.
The heart of the story is sourcing renewable energy, and we tend to stay focused on that path as we grow, and we see more opportunity is in Paraguay. The government is very much in support of the Bitcoin ecosystem, because the Bitcoin ecosystem is a stepping stone to high performance computers by the hyperscalers. If you look at America, where they've gone into is where Bitcoin miners captured stranded flare gas and wind farms and solar energy and are now being converted for AI, and OpenChat's huge growth.
Frank, thanks so much for the update. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on the strong September numbers, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, Frank Holmes, the executive chair of HIVE Digital Technologies.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors, or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.